You know, I have weekly conversations with people from all over the country, or even the world, in fact, about moving to Florida. More specifically, Tradition, Port St. Lucie, and the rest of the Treasure Coast. So after a few years of these conversations, I noticed some patterns related to snowbirding, and I have an alternative to those who just can't afford or don't want a snowbird. So stick around. Hey, I'm Stephen Kimos, a local realtor here specializing in new construction in beautiful Port St. Lucie, Florida on a beautiful 82-degree day. So once a person or a family has done the research and decided that Port St. Lucie and Tradition and the Treasure Coast are the place for them because it has a great location near big cities. It's got near cool little organic Florida towns. It's close to the beach, has a low crime rate, and a lot of buying opportunities. So the next question for a certain segment of those folks is, do I become a full-time resident? Now, whether you become a full-time resident is an individual question that relates to the finances, mental state, family, and age, and how much you hate the cold gray weather. Now, many people can't fully commit to the area because they want to be nearby family and established friends. Now, luckily, or through hard work, some are in the position where they don't have to address this question, as they have the resources to own multiple residences and go back and forth. They spend 6 months and 1 day in Florida to take advantage of the homestead exemption and no income tax. Then they head back north or west. They can easily buy 2 or 3 houses, so this really isn't as applicable to those people. Now, I've had some clients who have really downsized into a small condo that they keep in another state, while their main larger residence in their home base is in Florida. But that's not really what I'm going for here. But for others, only one residence is an option. These folks decide they're ready for the move, and by and large, 90% of those people are happy after making an adjustment, and the adjustment takes about 2 years. Well, for us, quite honestly, after a 30-plus year career with a Mid-Atlantic school system, we decided having to maintain 2 places wasn't a financial option for us in retirement. So we're one of those one residence people. We didn't want to strap ourselves down financially to be able to maintain and pay for taxes in 2 separate areas, and maintenance on a roof and climate in 2 separate places, and so on and so forth. It just wasn't feasible. Now, this is opposed to having your home base and living up north for 6 months a year, and then when it gets colder, you go south. In this reverse snowbirding scenario, you own just one place, and you live down south 6 or more months a year, and as it gets hot, you go north, west, or somewhere else. Like I said, there's multiple benefits to this strategy. As mentioned, number 1, you get out of the heat for a bit. Now, number 2, as mentioned, you don't incur the cost of 2 separate places. Number 3, and one of the best ones I think, is you're not tied to 2 places. For example, this year we might want to go to Boulder, Colorado, but if we don't like it there, we can go to South Carolina, or the same year, following year, or we can even adjust, on the fly and change where we're going to go. Every year becomes a different adventure. Or you can do the same place over and over again, particularly if you like a given location or you want to be near family and friends. And you could do it all for the same cost or way less than it would be maintaining a second place, which is probably empty 6 months out of the year. It's a freeing feeling not to be tied to that second home. Now, number 4, you can plan to go see family or friends part or all of that time. Maybe you can stay with family if you have the kind of relationship that's positive. It's not one of those ones where you're ready to kill each other after a few days. So it could be a possibility to stay all or part of the time for free. So by staying in Florida as your home base, you get to make it your home. It takes a little bit for it to feel like your home. Yes, you get the tax break and you get great weather, but if it's your home base as opposed to a part-time residence, you can maybe put more money into the purchase and more time and effort into the design and decoration of the house, since it's your main house that you want to make really be your home. Now, I really like this strategy. I like how freeing it is and how much money you can save. But let me close my reverse snowbirding one residence option pitch by saying that costs vary. If you go to Europe for 5 months, it would be the same as owning a second house for the year. Or it could be free if you stay with family or friends. usually maybe $4,000 to $6,000, for 5 months, depending on where you choose to stay, is a pretty decent deal, and less than owning that second place. So I hope this video gave you a little bit different perspective and gave you a different option when thinking about moving to Florida. You may agree with some of what I said or none of what I said, but let me know what you think in the comments. And as always, if you want to talk anything Port St. Lucie, tradition, Treasure Coast real estate, give me a call. My information is right here on the screen. It's in the description below, and I have a ton of other videos looking at the town, at the different areas, at the different communities that you might find useful. So hope to see you soon. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.